What is culture? Culture is this is how we do things around here. The problem and opportunity with culture is when we say this is how we do things around here, or we think this is how we do things around here, but what actually happens is different than what we say and think happens around here. That's why culture matters, because culture is what happens around here in the environment of the company. The beliefs, the rituals, the actions, what actually happens. Now there's all sorts of elements, amazing elements that drive culture. Story, belief, purpose, goal, mission, vision, core values. But what culture is what actually happens. And it's when what we think and say is happening, the opposite of that is taking place, is when it's misaligned and it needs to be realigned, because if it isn't, that's a leading indicator to chaos, to the loss of potential from a people standpoint, from a potential customer elevation standpoint, from profit. It's the leading indicator. The lagging indicator is the loss of the revenues and the profit and the innovation and the upward mobility, the attracting and retaining clients and talent. Those are all the lagging indicators. Culture is what actually happens. This is why the founder of management, Peter Drucker, said, culture eats strategy for lunch. He wasn't throwing strategy away. He's making a point that culture is what actually happens. Strategy is a component of the process of clarifying the aim and having the plan and conceptualizing how. And if that starts at the top, but it's not happening at the bottom, then it's all for naught. So there are different cultures. Every company has a culture. Every group has a culture. If it's more than one, it's a culture. If it's one, it's a character. You get more than one character together, it's the beginning of a group. There are overlap of beliefs and there are contradictions of beliefs. There are overlap of values and contradictions of values. And there's a negotiation and a feedback between one and the many. And the many help shape the one. Groups, we give each other feedback. Hey, don't do this, try this, you did a good job there. That's in an open, constructive, creative, dynamic culture where there's vision and there's a sense of mission and there's meaning. There will be open dialogue. There will be camaraderie and collaboration and connection naturally happening. But culture is what actually happens. There's always a culture, and it's figuring out what's working, what's not working as it relates to how aligned are we on what we think and say versus what we do. That's why culture matters. It's paying attention to what actually happens on a day-to-day that very easily gets disrupted by both failure and success. Fake culture is overemphasis on brand and underemphasis on responsibility. If I have to convince you about my culture, I've already likely convinced myself of something that isn't fully true or is untrue. Culture grows through reputation. Culture grows through people. Think about it. A good deed is done, and the recipient of that deed has a reason to share the good deed that's been done because they've gotten something, so they're going to give something. It's going to grow from reputation, from action, from an overemphasis on brand, an overemphasis on belief, an overemphasis on idea becomes ideology and not a revealing of a philosophy. A revealing of a philosophy, as Epictetus says, don't preach your philosophy, embody it. A revealing of a philosophy is a set of actions and beliefs lived out over time, cascade and influenced by experience, those in the marketplace. In today's world, you never have to meet and experience me to believe that I understand culture. This is just a component of sharing what culture is. It's words and it's thoughts. But until we've spent time and worked together in the trenches, you won't know the constitution of my culture. You won't know the constitution of my character and how the culture has shaped who I am today. So it's not throwing, it's not an either or, but the order matters.